everyone, it's Corinne. I'm back for another video. It's been over a year. I hope everyone's doing great. I don't have too much to say about 2023 because Corinne's been busy. 2023, Stock Almanac, and 2024. Here we go. What you guys think? And that's actually what I want to talk about. What did you guys think? So I did not dive too much into this one. You guys know I've been reviewing these books for some time. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Jeffrey last year at the Money Show in Las Vegas. I attended one of his seminars. He and I talked for a little bit. So good to finally meet you in person instead of behind the screen. And he had a packed out room. People had lots of questions. And again, your books are just consist of a wealth of information. Thank you so much. Yes, so to comment on this book as well, since I don't have too much to say, I will say that I really do value how Jeffrey does understand that too many technicals can get in the way, per him on another podcast I had listened to. And my mentors all tell me that all the time. Now, when you are focused too much on technicals, that can cloud your vision. It can cloud your edge. So stick to what you know, stick to what works for you. And it's always good to have someone that knows more than you to bounce ideas from, because that is a survival guide for trading and investing. And if you're an investor, I still recommend this book. He does have strategies, long-term strategies in this book that are really good. So let's talk quickly about 2024. And I have breezed through this book. I think it's great. And oh gosh, just going into this year, from last year we've had, on a geopolitical perspective, we've had, of course, wars. The war in Ukraine and Russia. Oh my gosh, the war in Jerusalem or Israel, between Israel and Gaza. Oh my gosh. So a lot of prayer going up. But the Fed has also talked about, towards the end of last year, talked about having a soft landing. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll see how that goes. So, and Jeffrey's always talked about presidential elections being extremely important. So thank you. And it's nice to walk into this year with your book, because of all times of these being important, I think this is really important to have in this presidential election year. And you talked about, of course, you all know I like to look at the outlook. It's one of my favorite parts. Besides looking at the in-depth of the year. This is not a reading class, but we'll say that he did talk about how the stock market is likely to benefit great from the power of a sitting president running for re-election. Because people, of course, presidents that are in office, that run for re-election typically have better years. As stated here, substantially better, averaging 12.8% for the S&P since 1947 versus poor performance all year long when there is an open field. So I think this is really important. So does that mean we're super bullish this year? I'm not. That's my bias. I'm not extremely bullish this year, depending on after the presidential election. I think after the presidential election, things will pop off. Lack of better terms, being very casual today. So yes, I think that's very important. And so at the time of this video, this is the first year of January. Awesome. Which goes perfectly with page 16, how he talks about January's first 5 days, which is an early warning system. He's talked about that in his previous books. I've talked about that here. It sets a tone for the year. Of course, the yearly opening range does. However, he does have the previous year's close on here. You're so awesome, Jeffrey. And you also have the January 5th day on here as well. So that does set the tone for the year, as you all know. So thank you for putting the data in here. But on the daily continuation chart, this year we're already down respectively 1.52%. And regarding the first 5 days, the last first 5 days were followed by full year gains of 39 times for an 83 accuracy ratio and at 14% average gain in all 47 years. There's more information regarding that. He has, you can look on a chart if you want on your charting system, but he has the data here. So, we're already down this year. Again, on a Corinne perspective, I'm not very bullish this year. I'm thinking personally we may churn. There's a lot of events that are happening. and whether the Fed is actually going to lower rates or keep them stable. We'll see what happens. Really, we'll just see what happens. And I think that's the biggest thing when trading is that you don't want to get too involved in on Twitter and looking at everyone's ideas. Well, now value the few that you know of, but too many opinions will cloud your judgment. It will affect your edge in your trading. So again, on the back, he always has extra space for notes. And I'm interested to seeing how NASDAQ will close because I know NASDAQ is leading the markets performance-wise. So we'll see. And he has this on the back on page 146, NASDAQ daily performance each year since 1971. And again, I mean, this is amazing. He has historical information on here. That's been here for ever. So you don't have to work so hard looking it up and researching it yourself. It's all in here. So I'm excited. This is actually as long as I wanted to go. I just want to say again, thank you all for just commenting throughout the year on the other videos. I hope these books have helped you. I've heard that they have. I've heard from other traders that these books are great, and I appreciate that you all like my reviews. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. And thank you everyone that do watch my videos. Give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all again soon.